Hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Today I'll be doing a very quick review of a pair of shoes I got. Here is the Salomon XT6 in the black FTW Silver colorway. As you guys might know, I reviewed the all-white XT6 a while back and I even object dyed it. I love this pair of shoes so much. It has served me very well. It is my favorite travel shoe and my favorite do-all activity kind of shoe. I will still be wearing it a ton, just that this year I'll be traveling quite a bit, so I wanted to double up and get one with a Gore-Tex upper so it can withstand harsher elements and the rain. This pair released in January this year. It is very similar to a darker grey pair which released a while ago, but this one is all black. It is a lot cleaner, and when I saw it, I had to pull the trigger and get it. So as usual, I'll be showing you close-up shots of the shoe. I will be comparing it with the older XT6 model because there are some updates in terms of the features. I'm hoping to help you out with the sizing and show you how I would style it. Starting off, here is the box that came with the shoes. Here is the sizing and information. Starting with the external side, there's the Salomon branding at the back. There's the TPU overlays which gives extra lockdown and a more secured fit. These triangular overlays ends off with an external eyelid. An interesting thing to point out, the first two eyelids are softer and they could be shifted about, whereas the last external eyelid, there is a plastic piece on the inside which gives even more lockdown when the shoes are tightened. And ending off at the top, you have a regular metal ring eyelid. Here is the instep of the shoe. You have the same TPU overlays and the XT6 branding at the back. On the exterior side of the toe box, you have the Gore-Tex branding. For those unfamiliar with Gore-Tex, it is a waterproof fabric, preventing water from entering the shoe. On this pair, the Gore-Tex layer has a honeycomb design. Here is the front toe box. Here is the back view of the shoe. Next, the laces. This is what Salomon calls the quick lace system. It has a lace lock on top with a rubber stopper at the end. Here's how it works. If you want to loosen the laces, hold the middle of the lace lock and pull up. And if you want to tighten the laces, hold the rubber stopper at the end and pull down on the lace lock. Covering the tongue, there is an elastic neoprene material. It acts as a cover for preventing dirt and pebbles from entering your shoe. And of course, on top of the tongue cover, you have the iconic Salomon branding stitched on. For the shoe tongue, there is the Salomon logo in the middle. Your tongue also has another compartment for you to stuff your excess laces. For this pair, it has a disconnected tongue and you can see the Gore-Tex lining on the inside. Here is the sock liner. It is made with a slightly rougher mesh material. Here is the insole. And here is the footbit after the insole is removed. On the outsole, sandwiched between the two foams, is the ACS, which stands for Agile Chassis System. It is essentially a stability plate. It extends from the forefoot all the way to the back of the shoe. On the instep, you also have the pronation control. It is a stiffer or more dense foam to give added support for those who over-pronate. Moving on to the outsole, you have the contact grip with lugs going in all sorts of directions, giving added traction on uneven and slippery terrains. Now I'd like to quickly compare the older XT6 model with the newer one. But do keep in mind this is the Gore-Tex pair, so I'm not sure if it's just specific to the Gore-Tex model. But based on observations, here is what I found. For the newer model, there is a bigger rubber stopper with the Salomon branding, whereas the older one has a melted rubber stopper without any branding. For the newer one released this year, the tongue is disconnected and is not stitched on to the top cover, whereas the older one is stitched on and it doesn't move about. But the sock liner on the older one is a lot more plush and softer as compared to the newer one, which is slightly thinner and a bit more stiff. The design and fit of the heel counter is also slightly wider and rounded as compared to the new one, which is a bit more aggressive. And lastly, the insoles are different. As for the older model, it is Ultralight as well, but the branding peeled off as I wore it. On the front, you have holes for ventilation. There's a lot of attention to detail. It's made with two separate materials. You have a nice soft foam up front and another foam supporting the back. It rides quite high up and it has a sort of arch support. As for the newer model, it is in a simple, thinner Ultralight insole. Now moving on to sizing, I'm normally a US 9 in Nike sneakers, and for designer shoes I wear a European 42. For this pair I went up half a size to a US 9.5 like my previous pair, If it's slightly loose, lengthwise, I think it's because of the thinner cushioning around the sock liner. The back of my foot is not as secured, but they definitely made the width slightly wider and a bit more forgiving. I could have gone with my true size for a perfect fit, but of course a 9.5 isn't all that bad. It still fits very comfortable after tightening the laces. Do take note, this is a Gore-Tex pair. It is slightly stiffer, so it requires a bit of break-in time. I recommend going true to size for a perfect fit, half size up for more space and comfort, or half size up if you have a wider foot. So to sum up my thoughts on the shoe, I'll say it and I'll say it again, this is one of the best travel shoes you can get. First off, the silhouette, it goes well with everything, and it has a rather slim profile, so walking about you do not feel too clumsy as compared to popular sneakers with an oversized chunky silhouette nowadays. Next off, the quality and build. The shoes feel very reliable and sturdy. To add on, this pair has the Gore-Tex upper. It feels very substantial and a lot tougher compared to the regular mesh. It would be good for withstanding colder temperatures, walking through puddles or days when it rains. At least your sock stays dry and you're not left with a soaking wet pair of shoes for the remainder of your trip. While trying them on, the pair of shoes are not as ventilated as the regular XT6 model, but my feet does not completely overheat. There's still a good amount of ventilation and breathability when I'm wearing the shoe. Next off, the traction and grip. It fares really well on slippery surfaces compared to sneakers and athletic shoes. So it is a very good shoe for hiking or more rugged activities, or when you're out and about stepping in nonsense. This pair of shoes holds up very well. As for the comfort of the shoe, it has a good amount of cushioning as well as stability. The cushioning is substantial. It is not extremely plush like a max cushion trainer, but it has a sufficient amount of cushioning to keep you comfortable throughout the whole day. And I love the pronation control on the inside. I overpronate, so it gives a good amount of support. And lastly, the quick lacing system, which allows you to put on and take off the shoes really quickly. I don't know about you, but for me, if I'm traveling and I have a pair of leather boots or high-cut pair of shoes on, if I go to a clothing store and I see a nice pair of pants or shoes, I'm quite reluctant to try it on because taking off my footwear is a huge hassle. But if I have the XT6 on with the quick lacing system, I just pull and I take the shoes off. I'm more willing to try on clothing, and it makes the whole process so much more convenient and easy. But of course, if you do not want to spend money, keep your 12-15 eyelid leather boots on. So if you're considering to get a pair, I highly recommend it. I know some people might feel that this pair of shoes is overhyped or overplayed. For a period of time, everyone seems to have a pair, but I honestly feel that the functionality triumphs all of that. It is a timeless shoe to me, extremely useful, and it is very nice looking. But if you're worried about wearing an overhyped pair of shoes, don't worry about it. They're all wearing Sambas now. I hope this video has given you the information you need on these pair of Salomon XT6 in the black FTW Silver colorway. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.